Alright, so we're gonna open tonight's meeting, October 17th, at the fire station for the select board meeting. And first on the agenda is to ask if there's any changes to the agenda that need to be made. If not, we will pursue according to the agenda. So the first item is anybody out there want to make public comments? Seeing no one's here to have a public comment, we'll go on to the next one, which is approving the minutes for September 19th.
The only thing I would have, and that is that, just put the time down on what time we start.
Okay.
Other than that, I so move.
A second.
Motion been made by Beer and seconded by Phil to accept September 19 minutes with the changes. Any more discussion? I thought Jess was here.
No, she's sick.
Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor of approving the September 19 minutes, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So September 19 minutes are approved. Alrighty. Alright, so Margot's gonna be coming in.
She did.
Keep your fingers crossed so that buzzer doesn't go off.
We actually can do a warrant right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd love to move right along tonight. Has Joey had any word on this pickup yet?
His pickup is, it's been made and it's en route. It's expected to be here by the end of the month.
Yeah.
I don't know that, I think you guys had talked to him about looking into the next tandem, but I don't know where that stands, so. I don't know.
I noticed one of them get a little rusty. The other day I was down.
Must be 14, 17, and 20.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be ours. They
Must
can't
be
get here.
Richford doesn't. Maybe ours is Richford doesn't like that.
Right.
Had to get some tires.
Yeah, for the new winter tires for the new winter.
They studded.
Michael Wright picked them out. Yeah. I couldn't tell you. He was the one calling around to find some good ones.
Hey, Dean. You parked in a Hanford's?
Just a safety spot for me, that's good.
Phil can't sign.
Uh-huh.
Phil can't sign. Or he can't sign.
Well, I would circle it and
Oh.
Or Dean can
just
sign.
say,
You can
Well, yeah,
sign
you
the
two
rest
can
of the
sign.
things.
Yeah.
and- So we basically just approved the minutes and we're waiting for Margot here.
Oh, I know. Oh, you can sign most of it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
one.
Just one, yeah. I know one wanna do the Como thing, or is that quick?
It's executive.
The Como?
Oh, no, that one could be done open. I thought, because the letters that are in that middle are open.
All right, so Dean's looking over the warrant there. We can go to the next bullet item, which is need approval to use Vaughn Como as a tax sale attorney for 2022-23.
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Phil made the motion, Dean seconded the motion to approve Vaughn as a representative for tax sale attorney for 2022-23. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And it's moving right down.
Go on there.
Can we do the library thing?
They're not here.
Oh, they're coming too. Can we go grab Sam?
Is he here?
He's back.
He was out here, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Well, the library, if he can do it, and Margot's supposed to
I just
be.
say, do you want me to text Margot?
I wouldn't be
she-
surprised if she's probably out there.
I just say she was out, when I came in, she was out on the field, so.
Is she out there?
I don't see her.
No, I can send her a message.
Usually on time. Oh, she don't do yet, will she?
All right, so we're kind of like on the impasse right now, waiting for a couple of people to show up that are on the agenda.
On the subject of,
Had the Opera House thing go. I was
Nice presentation, nice to have you talk about.
trying, but it just didn't happen because we were chopping Jeffersonville and I called. Actually, Susan called me back. And, I got you on Bluetooth. That's the only way I could say, don't text me because I can't text and drive. Chop her either.
you guys almost all done or what?
We finished Thursday.
Oh, you're done?
Last
huh?
Thursday,
You,
yeah.
Dean?
Yeah, we got some we gotta pick, but we're done chopping everything finally.
Yeah.
Finish up just in time.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, that the field's flooded in Jeffersonville.
They did.
Yeah. It's like we had some winter ice seed. Didn't have it all tilled in, so some probably floated downstream.
Yeah, help everybody else out.
Yeah.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. The boys thinned out a few bear down there.
I messaged her.
Useful.
So are we still getting 40 hours a week of police coverage? How has that been working?
You said what?
40 hours, please.
Are we still getting 40 or the regular hours of police
Yeah.
coverage?
Well, yes. 5 days, 8 hours. So they're on the schedule of July to June. So
Bring a seat, bring a seat.
Last year, like the previous.
Oh, yeah.
Calendar, whatever. They did give us a
Need a water?
about $5,000
No, I'm all set,
because they
thank you.
didn't fulfill their contract with us. So when all was said and done for their ending year, they hadn't given us the hours that were promised in the contract. So we got a check back from them for a little over $5,000. They don't have the people.
I just get questions about that because you don't see much of the presence, so I can wonder. We're not.
I think Enosburgh is. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure who the new sheriff in town is gonna be either.
No, but if anybody asks and they're worried about going to a write-in, because you know, it's a write-in or the one that's on there, they are allowed to bring a sticker, like a address label, or this fill and stick. You can put that on your ballot if you're worried to forget the name,
Oh.
paper, or a sticker, and put it right on the ballot. Or those are, you know, people who worry that they're not gonna remember the writing name.
Yeah. All right, we have Margot here, our rec director. We'll have you take the
Sure.
floor.
So I just wanted to share with you guys about myrec.com, which is a recreation-specific software that the committee and I have done some research on. Currently, Franklin, Highgate, St. Albans, and Swanton are all other rec departments that are using this this software. So I meant to print this out. I apologize, I don't have it in front of you to look at, but I'll just kind of go over some of the benefits of it and what it involves, and why we think it would be beneficial for the rec department. So the main benefit is it really just streamlines everything rec to one website. Any programs, events that we're having will all be on this particular website. Payments can be made through the same website, and we can build newsletters, surveys, everything all off of this. So we're not using multiple platforms. It's really easy to locate and to find everything that we need, both for us when we're building programs and for community use. Biggest thing for us is registration. So we have a lot of different ways that people register for programs right now. This way, anything we run, whether it's a free program or there's a fee attached to it, people can log in. So anyone can go on the website and look at what's available. If you decide you want to register for a program, you create an account, you create a login. You can do that for like a single person, like if Billy Jo wants to go on, create an account for herself and sign up for a program, she can. Or we can create family accounts. So like I could go on and me and my husband and my kids will all be on one account. And what that does is then you can your payments simplified. So you can pay for multiple programs one time. And like you can sign up at like, if I wanted to do a yoga class, my husband wanted to do a biking thing, and my kids want to do soccer, I can sign us all up at once, go to the end and pay. If some classes are free, it will say 0. If some classes have a fee, it will tally it all up, and you have one payment at the end. So it really simplifies that. And then the other great thing about the registration is that all the forms are downloaded onto the site. So like it will pull up an assumption of risk form, photo release, rules and regulations, whatever it may be that we want for forms. And there'll be blanket releases for any program that they do rec, so it will cover anything they sign up for throughout the year. And it will have an expiration date, so after a year, they sign up for classes again, it will kick back and say you need to re-sign these forms. So that way, we don't have to worry about who signed forms and who hasn't, and where payments are, and where, Billy Jo will tell you, sometimes payments are all over the place. We have a lot of different ways people can pay, and this will really streamline that, so we won't miss where money's going. Just some other things that can be used, like field reservations. So like some people rent our fields. So like Green Mountain Football Club did that this summer. So like next summer, for anyone to do it again, he can go in, create an account for Green Mountain Football Club, and sit down, please. I don't have to. And he can pull up, the calendar will be there. He can pull it up, he can click on dates that he would like to reserve. He can download his insurance form. Everything will be right there. It will come back to me to approve or whatever. And you can pay online as well. We can do merchandise sales, gift cards, punch cards if we had ongoing classes that offered punch cards. And then finally, like I said, our newsletters, we can do, anyone that's created an account, we can click like a system-wide newsletter, and it will go out to everyone who has on the account. Like, I have an account for St. Albans Rec, I still get their emails as a customer. Like, so anytime there's a new class, they send an email with a new class to anyone that's in the system. Or you can send it to just programs. So like, I could just pull up our little Stingers roster and send out emails to them, schedules or whatever it may be. So that's just kind of a quick rundown. There's lots and lots and lots of features. including 24/7 support from me. So someone will be there to set it all up, help me set it up, and be there for any sort of tech issues, whatever it might be, 24/7 support for that. Yes. So that's just kind of a quick rundown of what that looks like. So the yearly fee, as long as we make less than $25,000 a year in revenue, which I think we're well under, is $28.50 a year. It includes all the features. It is a 1-year agreement, and the invoice is due once your website goes live. So it's about a 6-week setup process. I would imagine if we move forward with this, with the holidays and stuff, we're not gonna go live until after the holidays, of the new year. So just looking for your support and, you know, us purchasing this and maybe reserving some funds to be able to do that. So, I know I said a lot in a little bit.
Is that
of time, but-
$28.50 every year or
Yes,
one
so
time?
it will be a 1-year agreement, yes, so every year is $28.50, unless we have a great year and make more than $25,000 and it'll be more. But yes, every year, yes.
This would simplify things for you.
A lot, a lot, it would simplify a lot for me, for sure. And even for I feel like the community too, because I feel like sometimes we have a lot of different platforms and maybe some things are missed. And so that way, it's gonna take a little community education, this is where you go for everything rec, but I think once people are aware of it, you know. And they could just create a login and they don't even have to sign up for classes, but they're still gonna get those emails and they're gonna know when stuff is happening, so.
I don't know, I think it's worth a try.
It's almost like you're advertising for the year.
Well, that's too, you know, I mean, the other thing is too, is it's probably gonna bring in more money with the ease of doing this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? People might go, well, we gotta do it 3-4 steps,
Yes.
we're not gonna do it. If we do it 1 step, we're gonna do it. You know?
Right.
Would you be, you know, the classes that are held, like out here for the seniors and stuff, would you add that to them even though they're free?
Even if they're free, we can add them, yes. So what I will help with is that a lot of like our free classes, sometimes we don't know who's gonna show up and who's not, and we have volunteers running them. And I mean, there's been times when volunteers would be like, nobody showed up to the class today. Whereas if we had people register, even if it's free, we at least have our roster and we know like, you're gonna have,
can plan on
you're
it,
gonna have
right.
some people today,
Yeah.
or no one
Right.
signed up.
Right.
And we can do number caps too, like so if we only want 20 people in class, it can do that.
Mhm.
And we can also set up age requirements, which is a big thing for like soccer and basketball. There's some parents that wanna get their kids in that are younger and this kinda, which, I get it, but like this would be, if they put their child in the account and they're too young for it, it's gonna kick them back and say, you know, your child's not eligible for this program.
This might almost work too, like, you know, our vision for the big room, we're letting people in there to walk. You can't have
Oh, right,
a
right.
herd of people at the
So,
same time.
yeah.
They could register for a
Oh,
time.
yeah, they could, yeah.
Yeah.
You just sign up for
Or
a
set a
time.
slot aside every
Mhm.
week at the same time or every day or
Mhm.
yeah, whatever.
And that could be on the calendar portion of it too. They could
Right.
click on the
Right.
calendar and reserve their time. Yeah,
Then we would know, like, when somebody has to be at the building.
Right.
Mhm.
You know.
because you can set up different calendars for like, this is your field schedule, this would be the armory
Yeah.
schedule, yeah. Yeah.
Margot,
It seems informative.
is there a fee, like, I know you said the payment, is there is there a transaction fee as far as payment processing, or is
There is, I think it's 3%, and he said, you know, we could absorb, like, if we wanted to just bump our fees up a little bit to absorb that credit card fee.
Right.
And there is an option to pay cash or check, so people would click on that, and they would have to pay like the day of the event. So it's not like, bring your check into the office, because that's what we do a lot now, like, you can go to the office and pay, but then they're paying, you know, they're leaving some money at the office, some's online, some is the day of the event. So
It's all over the board.
it's all over the place. So if they choose to pay by cash or check, they have to pay like the day of the event when they go there. Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be a little easier to track for sure.
like you said though, if you just
Bump our fees,
bump the fees.
just to cover that.
and-
Exactly. Right.
Or just say, if you're paying with a card, it's 3% more.
It's a little bit more,
Right,
right,
right.
right, which is fine too.
People are doing it in the stores now.
People do
Yeah.
that, for
Cover
sure.
their-
We tell
cover
them
their
when they come in
3%.
like $10 for a birth certificate, we'll say, well, if you pay with a check, it's $10, but if you pay with the card, it's $3 more. And they're like, I
Yes.
don't care.
Yes.
Because they don't.
And people don't, especially once you get all the way to the end and you're ready to pay,
Yeah.
they don't care,
But that,
so.
we went into a store the other day and they're doing that. I don't remember.
I've
what
heard
it
some
was, but-
restaurants are too.
Yeah,
like,
they're charging the 3 or 4% or whatever to
Yep.
cover the card.
Yeah,
Yep.
we don't keep the 3%, it's the
Right.
card company.
Right, the card
Right, the
company
card
gets
company,
it.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Right,
But it's not taking $3 out of our 10.
Exactly.
Right,
Right.
exactly,
Yeah, we wouldn't do that.
exactly.
And the other towns have had good success with that?
I believe so. I know St. Albans has had it for many, many years. Like I said, I have an account with them because that's where we lived, and I mean I signed up with them probably 9 years ago, and it's like I said, I still get the emails of what they have going on.
It
So
just seems more informative too, and
I
if
feel like
you
it,
say just everybody, if it's pretty basic and easy
Yes.
to do, chances are people are going to use
and I
it.
feel like it makes
Can
us
you
look
do-
a little more professional.
Can you do like events like to get volunteers to sign up and fundraising events on there as well?
You can do like blast emails.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. You
Mhm.
can. Yep. We can also do like farmers markets. Like if we want to do a farmers market, people can sign up to have a table and pay for their
Maybe
table.
next time.
I might be back.
Okay.
So yeah, like there's so many different features. I mean, these are just a few of what we have, and it includes all the features. Whether there may be certain features we'll never use, but everything that they have available is included in that price. So there's not any like add-on features.
Mhm.
So,
In order to make your job easier.
oh, for sure.
And Billy Joe.
Well, and it's,
And Billy
it's,
Joe.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice because, you know, we are still conscious that COVID is going around and people are conscious of it too. And the less people have to be in contact with each other,
Yep.
like bringing
Mhm.
it into my office, I'm happier
Mhm.
with.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the public, but
Well, and we did, like I did the Cider Shuffle run through like a run specific website, it was a free website that we were able to sign up. We had 66 people sign up. Everybody paid online. It was the most we'd ever had, and it was super easy.
it was very streamlined. It was so much better
Yes.
than it has
Mhm.
all over the place.
Well, it was all over the place. So that was kind of a good test run for like
It was.
online, and people paid whatever the fee was for the credit cards. There was a percentage for that one too, and people paid it. So, yeah.
I don't know, I say let's try it. I'll move.
Yeah.
So that's a motion.
We're streamlining. I'll second.
Word of the night.
So Pierre made a motion, Phil seconded a motion to have the rec committee try myrec.com.
MyRec.com. Yep.
Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
All those opposed say nay. Yeah, unanimous ayes, that's a go.
Thank you.
Hey, the only other thing to point out, and that is to just remind the coaches for parking
Yes. Yes.
Especially
on.
Mondays.
up on the hill. Yeah.
Mondays, yes. This is the last Monday. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
At least for soccer, it's at least for the younger ones. I don't know about the older ones, but I will.
And can we go in executive for 2 seconds?
Ready, girl?
With
Where'd you
Marco?
get that from?
With her?
Yeah, to find out about the omnibus, how that turned out.
Oh, you
That
got
hasn't happened yet. Oh, we don't have, no, nothing is being paid. They're still using it.
Okay, all right. All right. Can you hear that?
Alright, so, Sam was here and now he's gone. The library trustees have not showed up yet.
See, from the door shut, sometimes it's not.
Oh yeah, maybe, they may be just waiting out there. Maybe they're all playing cribbage.
Thank you.
Alright, thanks.
Bye.
Alright, ready?
She out
She's
there?
wonderful, and
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even know she's in the office, and she's very self-sufficient,
Mhm.
very good.
Her husband is related to the Dickie Longway.
Oh,
She comes from St. Albans area.
They were from, I think, mother-in-law is down in Fairfield.
Jerry.
Yes, but I don't know the father-in-law's name.
So we got any updates on the armor?
Just waiting for everybody back in there, getting, hopefully, Richie said next month. I've been in contact with him. Eric is probably gonna be able to come here shortly because the Abbey project, they're waiting on sprinkler parts. And the sprinkler system, not part of the system, so he's gonna be in the lull, so hopefully, he doesn't, like I said, have a lot to do there. He had everything pretty well stubbed up. Just trying to get in between Laz and Jeff.
It's just two of you?
No, Linda's just pulling in.
Those plans, so everybody should be back in here in the next, well, what are we, today's the 16th?
You still got the concrete cuttings still?
Yeah, that's gonna be Richie, who's gonna do the concrete cutting, all that.
Because I heard Roy passed away.
Yeah, his father.
Pretty sad.
Oh, his name was your father.
His father did, yeah, so. No, Richie's got a copy of the plans, he's had a copy of the plans for, I don't know, 3 weeks or so. So, they changed the circulator motors, those are all done.
What a busy place on Monday night.
Yeah, it's just,
Linda was trying
get
to
them
find
in there
parking
and get
spots.
them rolling, yeah, and I know what Merrill is finishing up some stuff, he can start doing some flooring and some spaces and so. It's just getting those guys to get their jobs back up and get them into
I usually
us,
am,
so.
but I'm not
Okay.
tonight.
Windows are all in, I think I told you guys that.
Yeah.
Windows are all done, so.
Well, there is, as a reminder, the 22nd is the Halloween party at the Opera House that the rec is doing this coming Saturday.
Come on in.
Son of a gun, the Hall of Enosburgh is here. I'm there, what is going on? I think I parked in the athletic field. Sorry.
Not a problem. Alright, so next on the agenda is the library trustees checking in with the updates and news from the library.
Yeah, so I thought we'd let you guys know where we're at since COVID and everything. And I did a printout from the year before COVID of 2019. And no, we're not back up to that. That took almost 6 years to get to. I'm working it back.
Yeah.
But last year, compared to this year, the first 9 months of this year, we've topped most of the stuff for the full 12 months last year compared to 9 months this year. Like, we've already had 1,600 more people in the first 9 months compared to all 12 months last year. So
Nice.
it's circulation, same thing as everything is. So I thought, you guys needed to see how the library's doing, because we don't just come to you for money,
But while we're at it. Just kidding.
So, and then I did some highlights. The grants that we have gotten this year, donations we've gotten, and not just cash donations. We were donated a new sewing machine through an organization, that way our patrons could use that. We've been donated 2 brand new wildlife cameras from the Franklin County Natural Resource Conservation District, and those will be able to be signed out for the patrons to use. They have memory card and everything, we'll clean it every time it comes back, or they can keep the memory card and give me a new one, either way.
Okay.
The state of Vermont with Department of Libraries and Big Heavy World, we were one of the libraries who got a USB microphone that patrons are going to be able to check out and use if they need to. What else? Then the collaborations. We've been collaborating with a lot of groups in town. We're doing the story walks into different businesses, so that way it kind of draws people to those businesses. We spread it out so it doesn't get too monotonous and people say, oh, we've done that. No, let's do it like every couple months and make it a new thing, they feel like. Harvest Festival, of course, town band where we put a table out for crafts for the kids. We worked with we got some teen volunteers and the Enosburgh Elementary School librarian and the rec for our carnival we had in August, and that was a lot of fun. We're gonna do the trunk or treat. We did a week-long hunter safety course with Vermont Fish and Wildlife. That was held at the library, except for their final day where they had to go actually out in the woods and stuff. And then they went to the trainer's house up in Montgomery to do that part, but the rest was held right in the library.
Nice.
We have a bin in the library that NCSS keeps supplied with diapers and wipes. I just email them when we're getting low, and the public can just help themselves. They don't have to ask us, they don't have to anything. They can just go to that bin if they need diapers or baby wipes, and they can just take what they need. And we've been doing that for a little over a year now, and it's been very well received. They actually just brought me another case of wipes because we were out of those of the packages. So. What else have we done? The senior lounge, which we don't get a lot of people just to sit and have coffee in the lounge, but all the programs that we've been able to offer through free with the Notch Healthy for Life, Age Well, SASH, Franklin County Home Health, those are well attended by our seniors in the community. They really appreciate that stuff. So it's kind of nice that we're reaching from birth all the way through now, the library is.
Yeah.
And then we worked with the rec for a family game day and teen game night. Forgot the T on that. And that was not as well received as I know Margot hoped, but you know, we have to try things, and sometimes they're going to take off and sometimes they won't. We are going to do together in November, January, and March, a family movie, pizza, and game night at the library. And Margot and I are working together on that, because in April, the library itself did one, and we had roughly 20 people there for that. So that was a lot of fun, and it was nice to have families out together.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was a teenager with their parent, and some were, a little kid with a parent. It was all ages. So, and we have a movie license that we get through the Department of Libraries. They purchase it for us. So we're able to do movies in the library or on the library lawn. We don't have to pay to get the rights to show those movies. We just can't advertise the title on social media, but we can give hints. And we can put the title in the library ahead of time for people to know.
Okay.
So, we did Operation Happiness last year. We're going to do it again this year. We're just waiting. I've already been in contact with them, and once they get all the details and get it promoted and get the names of kids, they'll send the Enosburgh ones to our library again. And again, last year we only had Enosburgh kids, and we had, what was it, around 80 kids of stockings just for Enosburgh. So. We do a free hat and mitten tree, which people donate the hat and mittens. They make them. Last year we had stuffed animals and blankets and socks, and it was very well received. It's been a good thing for the community. Mr. K is going to do a Father Christmas story, and the library provides a free gift for every child that comes to that. We kind of wrap them with paper signifying boy, girl, and what age.
Yeah, okay.
So that way we can just give them, and he'll give them to the child. We're fortunate Lions Club has donated, that's what we use some of their money for, is to go buy some of the gifts. So that way we can make sure every child gets something. And then on the last page, these are all the programs the library is offering for 2022. A lot of programs. So that way we can reach all ages again. But I just thought you guys needed to see a little bit what we're doing, how the money that you invest in the library is being used. And not just, as I said, come to you and say, hey, can we have more money? But say, hey, this is what we're trying to do with it. And then also to get feedback from you guys for if there's something else you'd like the library to entertain looking into or explore. we're always open for that feedback also.
I know that when I was a kid, that movie night they used to do in Bakersfield, and it was a big hit
It
there.
was
For
fun,
sure.
I used to do that too, yeah.
Yeah,
When I ran the Haston Library back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I did a teen pizza movie. No adults could come. And I'd do it in the summer. And we did it every week. And we would have between 15 and 20 teenagers in the little Haston Library for pizza and movie.
yeah,
It's just trying to reach that group. It's hard to reach the teens right now.
yeah.
That's why we're trying to do it as a family one, that maybe, mom and dad say, hey, let's go do this. We're gonna get pizza and we're gonna, pizza's draw. We just miss that Parkside isn't there now.
For sure.
If you could you just introduce the members that you brought with you?
I'm Liza Weed.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm Linda Davidi.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. You didn't know him? I know you know that one.
You're on TV, so say that people will be sitting there going,
I forget that detail. But yeah, so, did you have any questions or anything for us?
Is there anything you want of us? Is there anything-
I really
Yeah, you-
enjoy that you're collaborating with the direct committee there. It's definitely a good thing to do, and going down the road, once we move into the armory, if there needs to be a bigger space for something, maybe there's a potential to move some of the things in there.
Margot is awesome to deal with. I have to just give you that feedback. She is so, how can we do this? And, I can come to her with an idea like the trunk or treat idea for the park. I went to Margot and said, this has been my dream. What do you think? Can we do this together? And then that's how we went from there.
Nice.
And so it's just, that's a great feedback and a great, to have that person willing to work with you and bounce ideas off of is really nice. Because sometimes, most of our groups are all great, but some are very power hungry. I will say that. But she is not.
No, she's not looking for glory.
No, all about how can we serve our community.
She was just actually in here just for you guys, and she had some great ideas that are going forward.
Yeah, we'll be putting, she's having the pictures printed and we'll be able to vote on those fall photography thing.
Oh,
That'll be in the
yeah.
library next week. The pictures will all for the public to come vote.
Yeah.
And then we'll have them on display, the winners, through the month of November.
Nice.
So that's another way we're working together.
Your wife will have to enter. She's big on.
Since she doesn't have a space, it's great that she can
Yeah.
use the library, so. And go for it.
Oh, it's fine. I think we're just, no. I just want you people to know how grateful we are for having the library there, and the cooperation that you give us is wonderful. I don't know how to thank you, and I know those two girls work so well together. But, if there's something that we need to be doing,
So we're, once we get moved into the armory, there's the potential. It's going to be the community's decision, I think, to do what we're going to do with the existing town clerk, and if there's a possibility to open it up to some space for the library. And it's a beautiful library, and it's kind of tucked behind things, and there's no parking and stuff. So
Everybody knows my opinion. No, don't make me parking. Give me the lawn.
do it bigger lawn.
This is for you guys to know. I have met with the state librarian. She came to meet with me at the library, myself, and then she also met with St. Albans. We were the two in Franklin County. And while she was there, I explained to her what would be happening and what my dream would be. And there is going to be, for libraries, an ARPA construction grant. And it would be in regards to, which I can definitely write it, because it would be, what would we be able to do if there was ever another pandemic to serve the community? How would we need to change that? My goal would be a pavilion, because it'd have a roof and we could do programming out there. tables, like octagon picnic tables type thing that we could easily put umbrella up to shade. She said we'd need to have more outside outlets, more than the 2 that I got grants for and we have out there already. And to make sure the Wi-Fi is really good. And she would see no reason we couldn't use that ARPA grant, if I wrote it, to do all of that.
Huh.
So
Nice.
it is.
Yeah, I didn't think something like that. That's
Yeah.
So that is just, and my fear, if parking was changed out there at all, you have all these families out on the lawn, and what if somebody accidentally hits that gas pedal instead of the brake pedal?
Right.
And you've just,
We also have people parking there that aren't there for
Yeah.
the library.
yep,
Yeah, right.
yep. And so that is just what I dream of for the library, for the community.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's a point of view that we hadn't looked at.
Yeah, and I would love
It
to
would
just be
really
able
look
to hold.
nice, I think, too.
It would.
The green space right in the middle of town would be
Yeah.
great, yeah.
And to have all that, you'd see a lot of lively energy from families and programs we do, especially all summer long.
It'd be much more inviting
Yeah.
instead of being
I think
tucked
if you
behind
could
our
see the
building.
library too,
Yes.
you know, from the road, it'd make a big difference.
Yeah, so I mean, I do, as I said, she met with me and she said definitely that would be all approved. And right now, she said they're looking at it would need to be done by, I think it was 2026. And she goes, it couldn't be more than 500,000. So just to let you guys
Did
know.
she want to give you a whole new library?
I said, what could I come out about, another 20, 30 feet with my building? And I would love it if they would let us do an actual push button handicap door.
I was
Accessibility.
wondering about that. I was mowing one day and there's a gentleman that
Yeah.
I've 2 or 3 times now I've seen him struggle a little bit.
Yep.
I didn't get to the door in time. He actually got through, but he struggled to get in.
He doesn't like to be held.
No,
Mhm.
I've tried.
We've all tried. But yes, and we have a few that are in wheelchairs, and it is very hard
Yeah,
for them.
I was gonna bring that
And
up at some point.
the other thing would be for when the sidewalk eventually does get redone, you've probably noticed it, you have that little step for
Mhm.
that square cement that comes off the sidewalk
Yeah,
before
it's
you go
like-
in the library.
Exactly.
And the wheelchairs have to stop and pick up to go in, so we really need a very smooth.
Yeah.
But so far, they haven't said we could use that ARPA construction to do a handicap accessible door that would be push button. But that would be something for a dream for the library because of we do have more and more struggling to get in there. And as you said, you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And when the library was originally placed where it was, we purposely put it back as far as we could to the back so that hopefully someday if we had to enlarge it, we could come forward.
All right.
And if that building in front had still existed, we would put it like an atrium, that they could have come through your building and gone right into the library if need be. But that's why it was placed way back there,
Yeah.
looking a little ahead.
And
Alright,
she was
We did run-
you were the
You gotta
chair
have
of the board
vision.
at that
Yeah.
time.
Everybody's gonna put their visions out there so that we know which one is gonna
Yeah, we
suit the
wouldn't want to
community
go
best.
higher because then you're gonna have staffing on that second floor all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
If we
I
ever
think
got
it
bigger, it would be, the vision would be to come forward.
Gotcha.
But that's not my vision right now. My vision right now is, make a really friendly front yard. So just to let you know, those are some things, as I said, I have talked with them about and have the lead on the grants. Because I don't want to vision for burden on the taxpayers. It's how can I get grants to do this stuff? So. And then the last thing I'll say, we're not here for money, but I know I've talked to Billy Joe and I've sent pictures. The windows are some of them are getting really bad. We have springs and everything popping out of the casings. There's a couple we can't even open now because of
What
that.
year was the library built?
83.
The original.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just letting you know, it's, something to think about whether we even were able to do a couple windows a year or something.
Yeah.
Not that I'm here for money, but I just thought I should tell you everything.
Yeah, it's 40 years.
So, yeah.
They did well.
Yeah,
They did well for
they
that.
did very
It
well.
was the year I graduated high school from here. So, did you ladies have anything else?
I know I think you covered it.
think you did.
I never have a problem talking.
She does a wonderful job, just so you know it.
Yeah,
She
she
has
does.
really good personnel that works for her, and
And along that note, Lisa just got her public library certification this year also,
it's okay.
which is through the state of Vermont. And she does the courses she did while she was working. They were all virtual. And so she's now certified, just like I am, which is a benefit because to continue to get state money, you have to have at least one certified librarian in your library. So now you have 2.
And that's pretty good for a
Yep.
small town.
It is.
Okay, thank you for
Yes,
giving
thank
us the time and for listening. And again, anytime you have ideas, please, we're always open.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your ideas and your updates. It's very helpful. A lot of stuff we didn't know that was going on there, especially with the rec and
Right.
you coordinating. And,
So thank you.
well, thank you.
I'm gonna get up.
Time to get up.
Let's go play cricket. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Alrighty. Next on the agenda, moving forward, the bullet point is Sam Hayford, the ambulance. You got the SOP, SOG updates.
Alright, so well, quickly before we do that, I guess I'll just jump into just a couple service updates. Our new ambulance, we are in the final steps of getting that placed into service. We have applied for the state EMS license for that specific truck. And that is the last piece of paperwork we're waiting on for. So as soon as that gets back to us and it's in the truck, we've already just moved the supplies over today. So once that's in the truck, it's placed into service, and then the state will, whenever the state EMS office will come up and do a full inspection and give us a full license, but we can run on that temporary license until then. So that's our last step on the new truck, to place it into service. The 13's parked outside.
Yeah, we're not gonna move on now until this one gets placed in
Yeah,
service.
oh yeah, no, for sure, but that's just the
But,
update on that.
yeah, I was wondering about that when I went by there this weekend. I said, "Look how close that is there." 'Cause it's gotta
Yes.
get close.
Yes, well, working with DMV is a little
Oh yeah.
delayed. But so I have a new SOP, SOG that I was looking just for approval on. In the past 2 months, we've gone to some pretty high risk, dangerous scenes for our crews. Like 2 months ago, we were in a meeting where we were dispatched to a male who was shot. And about a month ago, we were dispatched to 2 people shot in a very dense population area, and we didn't know where the shooter was. They had us staging for law enforcement, but that's still extremely dangerous for our crews to be in that area. Of course, our safety comes first, and that's what we're taught. So this SOP, SOG basically outlines, we do have a protocol in our state EMS book. It's called EMS in the Warm Zone, and that warm zone is a potentially dangerous situation. That's the definition of it. So the goal of this SOP, SOG is that our crews will be better equipped, trained, and meet requirements that we outline as a service to provide care in these more dangerous situations. You want to go grab the
Sure. And just to clarify, so this is a rescue task force initiative, which really aims to set up parameters for us to respond to active shooters, domestic violence situations, and other highly dangerous situations of those nature. Could be a school shooting, it could be a shooting at home, it could be an accidental shooting, it could be a hunting accident.
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is kind of becoming a big thing nationwide. I mean, you see it in the news, unfortunately, almost every day. So, I mean, it is unfortunately a new thing that we have to deal with. this protocol. The first page is just definitions, and this is straight out of our EMS in the warm zone protocol that we follow as a state licensed EMS provider. And then there are requirements in our protocol. We are using this protocol right now because it is a 2020 EMS protocol. So it's been enacted at the state level for 2 or 3 years. Our specific rescue task force that we would like to start here would just make sure that our members who want to be on this rescue task force meet certain training requirements and certain safety PPE requirements. We have a couple demonstrations of my stuff that I'm currently using here. So because we do go to our dangerous situations in our EMS in the warm zone, for EMS to be in a warm zone, you are accompanied by law enforcement just because it is potentially a dangerous situation. So we don't go in by ourselves, we go in accompanied by law enforcement, but it's a fluid situation, it's not always, particularly safe for us. So in our SOPs, we do have PPE requirements. They're also state requirements to operate in the warm zone. So those requirements are a ballistic vest. So this is my personal ballistic vest. Its job is to stop a bullet from hurting me. I also have a helmet, and then our requirements are that we are able to treat 2 trauma patients by each provider of this rescue task force. So how this would work is if we went out to a dangerous call and it was, unfortunately if it was an active shooter event at the school, the on-duty crew chief would tone out for off-duty members that meet the requirements are on this rescue task force team. And they would respond in their personal vehicles, they would have their equipment, and they would be able to provide care a lot faster to our patients, as well as maintaining safety for us. Because in this warm zone, safety is our priority. But if somebody who wasn't on this rescue task force has to wait for the patients to come out to them, this rescue task force with safety and law enforcement can go into a warm zone, someplace where shooting currently isn't happening, but it has happened. It's safe, law enforcement has cleared it, we're escorted into the area, we provide care for those patients quicker. Immediate life-saving, time is money in trauma, time saves lives. Minutes matter, seconds matter. We get the patients out and we bring them out to the ambulance. And if the ambulance crew is a rescue task force, qualified, certified, at our level, then they would be the ones going in. This outline is just to make sure that anybody who wants to be on this rescue task force meets training requirements, that they do have protective equipment. And this way, it's safer for us, and it's following our state protocols.
So I think it's important to know that the idea behind this rescue task force is that it's a voluntary thing. Not everybody on the service would be asked or required to be part of it. Sam and I are both equipped right now. He had his equipment. I bought my equipment earlier this summer. I did buy higher end equipment, but to equip myself with a vest and a helmet, it was about $3,200 to $3,400. So it's not a cheap endeavor.
Hopefully your vest is bigger than Sam's.
It is.
This works well for me.
Pierre, what are you saying? And it is in here that we're not looking to have the town purchase this kind of equipment. That's a voluntary thing to be part of this. However, I think we're also looking at the possibility of maybe some grants or even being able to acquire some used equipment from another service. I think, to my knowledge, this hasn't been done in Franklin County, at least to this level.
Amcare used to, they still might have a rescue task force. Several years ago, they were pretty active. And they had their own SOPs, SOGs that followed the state guidelines. But
But if there was an active shooter situation at the Enosburgh High School, for instance, God forbid, we may be waiting for rescue task force members from Chittenden County to come help, which we'd rather not have to wait for.
So right now, there's, so you're saying St. Albans is?
May or may not be.
May or may not. We're not.
So right now, and it's figuratively speaking, there's the two of you, but we don't know from Missisquoi or Richford.
They do not have their own rescue task force.
Okay.
So
Milton has been talking about it.
Yeah. And the goal of this is that we cover 5 towns.
Yep.
That's 5 schools.
Yep.
So that's unfortunately, a lot of potential situations that we will run into. In this rescue task force team, in the future, it might be that we're called to a mutual aid town just because we are providing a specific service that not many other agencies have or can even start. And so our requirements are that you are certified as an EMT or above. There's also a requirement of EMS in the warm zone, the state protocol. There's 2 additional certifications. You can either have one, it's called TECC, or a TCCC cert. These certifications you can achieve on your own, and that's what we are going to require, is that you achieve it on your own. I hold one, and as long as you hold an EMT license and one of those 2, you are eligible to be on this rescue task force as long as you have the equipment. So it's not open, it's open to all of our members. So if they would like to be on this team, they're an EMT above, they can acquire this certification and join the team. And we also are requiring a certain number of 10 hours of training a year to make sure that we are providing the best care that we can do for all of our communities, our 5 towns that we cover.
This also may turn into a possibility of helping us recruit. There's certainly a possibility that somebody from another service that doesn't do this type of thing says, hey, that looks like it could be really fun or might be really rewarding, or fill in the blank. And to be part of this, you also have to be part of Enosburgh Ambulance. So that would, meeting our requirements of 2 12-hour shifts a month, that would get us more people on the roster potentially and help us fill our schedule better.
You gonna do these presentations over at the other communities?
Have I done any?
No, are you going to?
Oh yes, so as soon as you guys approve this, my goal is that on our social media that we present this to the community, to offer this service up to the community, and there will be emails sent to our, Richford Ambulance, Missisquoi Valley Rescue, Franklin County Sheriffs, the state police, all their surrounding agencies of EMS, fire, and police, just so that they are aware that, we do have a rescue task force here. We can certainly be a benefit to them just because we're providing this specific service to our communities. I hope to, in the future, to reach out to the schools and, talk with administrations there, get an idea of the school layout, because, I didn't go to any of the schools here. So it'd just be beneficial and to make them aware that, we do have a rescue task force here, so God forbid something happens, we do have a specific service we can provide to get care faster to them. And it certainly might be beneficial in the future for town contracts, because it's just another service that we provide that not many people can offer.
Do you have blueprints of like the local schools and things like that to study the?
We do not. That's one of the things we would like to, reach out to those schools and be like, this is our, rescue task force. It's something new that we started. It's a service we can provide. Give them our outline, give them our purpose, and then.
And that's some of the kind of that institutional knowledge that you get. If we're called down to BFA, Sam knows BFA. I don't know it for at all, right? If we get called over here to the high school, I know Enosburgh, he might not. So we can work together. That being said,
might be a good idea to have a list of all these blueprints on hand.
Yeah.
Grab one and go, check it out on your way.
They're gonna
Whatever,
have cops
just-
to be there with them, the police have to
Right.
be there with them too, so.
And,
Well,
but
just
police
have
might
an
not have the blueprints
escort.
either,
Well,
so.
that's it.
No,
You know,
yeah.
That's a good, yeah.
And
To have those, just at least to be able to reference.
And in our trucks, we have binders of the town roads, the
Actually,
maps.
We can put it on active.
Yes, so we can have those blueprints access to us if we're on the truck, if I'm in my
Yeah.
personal vehicle.
That's a good idea.
Well, the other thing is too, is that you probably could check with the fire department. Just,
We do
Does-
pre-planning with the fire department, but we don't have the schools in there.
they don't
Because I'm
have,
the one that inputs in for Enosburgh anyway, so I can tell you Enosburgh doesn't have them for those buildings, but
maybe that's.
we have more generalized pre-plans
No,
for specific buildings.
right.
We just don't have like blueprints for those buildings, but it's a possibility that we could.
Yeah, work with
I
the
don't see why-
fire departments.
It seems like the schools would be more than happy to hand over
Yeah.
that type of information.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're pretty much just looking for any input and, you know, approval of this. And once it's approved, we're gonna try to reach out to, you know, our schools that we cover in our towns and as well as our fellow EMS agencies, law enforcement. I know, you know,
When we were here meeting with you guys and went to that neighboring town for that shooting, I got my vest for the following week. He went in with all his gear and I was like, that's smart.
and it makes me feel so much safer too. I'm just, you know.
So yeah, that's when I turned around and I got mine and I said, I'm gonna be prepared next time.
And law enforcement has had a positive, when we show up on scenes and we're like this, they're happy to know that we are ready. You know, we're able to provide care a lot quicker and we're safe. And that also makes them a little bit less worried because they have to worry about us. They have to come, they have to guard us.
Now they can monitor the area without having to do it.
We're not armed when we do this. We are, and maybe you mentioned that already, I don't know.
No.
EMS is not armed. I mean, we'll have like scissors, right? Like, but we still have to have somebody there for our protection. But that's, you know, and sometimes we go to calls where, you know, police will say, look, we're en route. This is what the situation is. Your discretion if you feel comfortable. With this, we feel a little more comfortable. You know, you can kind of say, okay, well, you know, they say they've left the scene. Maybe we can take that little bit extra, you know, calculated risk versus, well, they say they've left the scene, but I'm not going in until say police get there.
And unfortunately, we're pretty rural, so there's not a whole lot of law enforcement coverage. So we are waiting an extended period of time, and our patients can't wait. I mean, they're injured, and minutes really do matter in trauma.
Oh,
And we're far away from a trauma center. We're far away from a local hospital. So this SOP will allow us to get care to our patients a lot faster and safer for us.
And when Sam's talking about like very quick trauma care, he's talking about applying tourniquets, applying a special chest bandage that keeps people breathing longer, stopping just massive bleeding.
You bleed
Because a lot
out in
of-
4 or 5 minutes from arterial bleed.
A lot
So-
of fatalities, it comes from loss of blood, right? So if you can somehow stop that, if you can keep them breathing and you can keep the blood in them, you can get the patient out to an ambulance that can do better care and transport. Like that's kind of the missing key that this is bringing is stopping the blood, keeping them breathing, stopping the bleeding, keeping them breathing, and then getting them to the transporting device, whether that's a helicopter, an ambulance, whatever.
And in the back, there is on the last page, under leadership, I will be the point of contact for it. I'll also be making sure that all of our members keep up with their required hours of training, their certification, their equipment, and our dispatch will be notified if this is approved. And that way, if another service requests us, they'll tone here for it. And it will just be a mutual aid, just as like our EMS plan has
Yeah.
been doing.
Yeah.
Is there any questions from you guys?
Is there any other interest within the Enosburgh ambulance?
I think there's
be doing-
some interest. I think part of it is a cost thing, and I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, you know, when we get either used equipment from another agency or grants, I think that will build this even more.
Mhm.
I think there is some people kind of warm to the idea of joining this and doing this. I think the big factor is cost.
And I'm assuming most of this equipment is gotta be fitted specifically. There's no-
Yeah, so like this is specifically set up for my size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, Greg and I are a little bit different size.
I ordered the
so
6XL.
I have a medium. So like if we get donated,
His is lighter.
if we get donated gear, of course they'll be assigned to a specific member of this rescue task force, and we'll keep records of all of the gear that we issue. But it'll be assigned to a specific person. It's up to them. They can leave it here. They can take it in their personal vehicle home because, you know, there's 2 on shift. Well, if something big happens, we're calling everybody in. So if it's in Bakersfield, I'm not coming to the station to grab my stuff. I'm just heading right to the scene. So I carry my stuff in my vehicle, you know, and when I'm on shift, it's on the ambulance. But if I'm off shift, we'll leave it up to the members to have
And
their...
Sam and I are kind of unique in that situation where we carry a lot of our own equipment for EMS in our vehicles. I mean, we've both kind of equipped our vehicles as essentially first response vehicles. But you know, it may be different for somebody. Somebody might say, hey, I want to be part of this, but I'm gonna come get it at the station because I don't want to lug it around. Like that might be a personal decision. Yeah.
So Sam, this verbiage is state.
Yeah, so we in our state EMS protocol, we have a very, very in-depth EMS in the warm zone protocol for all EMS providers that are licensed in the state. I believe it's about eight pages long from the state. I took what's relevant to us. I also listed that this is what we follow. All EMS providers have to follow the state protocol. So I quoted this, that we follow the guidelines from the state in our specific SOP, SOG. So all of our care guidelines come from the state and definitions. The only adage that we added was the requirements of the training, and then also specific gear that we want staffed as Enosburgh.
Yeah.
That's the only.
Yeah,
And that's why we want SOP, SOG.
I just want to make sure we
Yes.
don't adopt something that's not approved by the state.
Yes, oh yes, no, this is fully approved by the state. This just ensures that our providers are trained and equipped and ready to go really 24/7. That's why we want this SOP, SOG, so that we can make sure that, you know, Greg and I and any future members are keeping up on our training and that we are certified to do this.
I think it'd be good to send out, I don't know if you're sending a letter or an email or anything.
So I was going to send an email, and I was also going to include our copy of our SOP, SOGs to the other agencies to be, you know, this is what we, we require of our rescue task force, and this is our purpose. And you know, you can reach us through Central Dispatch, and we'll notify dispatch that we have started this team, and you know, if you know, Richard asks for us, dispatch is aware that, oh, well, they do have a rescue task force team, and they'll tone us from there. But we're hoping that this also builds a lot of training and a lot of bonds between the surrounding agencies, just because they don't have this specific service that we're hoping to provide. So it might build bonds between, you know, surrounding agencies that, you know, we can train together. Yeah.
Well, that's fine with that.
Yeah.
It would just, I think it'd be good though if we send notice to the other select boards that communities we represent, so they know, as well as the schools, but so the select boards know.
And I can certainly go and, you know, I can present this, I can bring the gear, I can lay out pretty much exactly this to the letter, I can give them a scenario specific to their town. I mean, you know, if we're going to Bakersfield, well, they have an elementary school there, you know, unfortunately, that's a, you know.
I don't think you have to sell them on it, I think you just have to inform them on it.
Yes.
Because it's not gonna cost them anything.
And we keep saying school, but you know, it could be Dairy Day, it could be something at the
It could be
Opera
a
House,
church.
it could be a church. I mean, it could happen any day of the week, you know?
I think doing a presentation to each of the
Yeah.
supporting committees,
Yeah.
communities, just so that they have, you know, yes, you can see it on TV, but to visualize it now, it's, you know, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hope you never have to use it.
You know,
You're prepared if you
Right,
have
but
to.
we're prepared.
Yeah, but it's one of those of,
And I think you're right, future contracts.
You know, it might be something that, you know, we can just add to the list of services that we provide, you know, we're a car seat check, well, now we have a rescue task force. I mean, it looks good because a lot of towns have their own schools, they have large events, large population.
good job.
Yeah, that's great.
Both of our vests, I mean, maybe this is getting into the weeds too much, but just out of a fun topic here, both of our vests are basically designed to stop like small rifle rounds.
Like a 308.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anything from a small pistol up to like a small rifle round.
And there's different plates that stop different rounds. So you know, the cost is different for those plates. So like Greg and I have the high-end stuff, but you know, somebody else can purchase a little less lower level plate, a little more cost effective. It's up to the individual person, as long as
it meets a certain standard.
Yes, and that's a standard from the state.
And
So
yeah, you can see the difference
I
in
think they're
size.
asking us to approve. Huh?
You can because he's head of service.
Yeah, but they're asking us to, because they can't go to other towns without us approving this SOG, SOP, and the task force itself.
I'll make a motion to accept this task force.
I'll second it.
Phil made the motion, Dean seconded the motion to accept the rescue task force, SOG, SOPs for Enosburgh ambulance. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And Pierre abstained. So unanimous ayes have it.
Sam's done a lot of work getting us together, so.
Yes, this has been a personal goal of mine to provide this, you know, this service to our communities, because, you know, unfortunately, it's kind of an everyday
It is
thing
every
for
day
us.
in the
You know.
news.
It is unfortunate, but it's, you know, preparation that we need to be doing, because it's, you know, it's always small town in America, and you never know, you know, we got 5 small towns now, so. And we covered. Appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Anyone want to try it?
How heavy
I
is it?
probably couldn't lift it.
How heavy is it?
Well, you and I wanna try that one together? Is it heavy?
Sam, I also have a contact for the operations person for the school.
Oh, perfect. That's cool.
So I can just text it to you.
50?
I haven't
Yeah,
waited
no,
for
40,
him.
50.
I haven't waited.
Wait, how-
So he oversees
Here, you're
all
gonna
of
take 2
the.
hands or?
I have a little lighter one that I
Oh,
wear
yeah,
over
that would be-
uniform if it's
Yeah,
like.
or I can reach out to him,
not
I
like
can
a
have him get in touch
release
with you.
it.
They must be at least 50 pounds.
For each school, you
We're
know.
out for deer
Yes,
season,
yeah.
so you can get in shape.
You want to see how that is?
Let's see yours. Actually, even this one.
Yeah, it's heavy. Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's still,
Yeah,
You want some meat there?
Yeah, for sure, because you never know.
Yeah.
They don't know who you are when you're on
And
scene.
you don't know who's in the building.
Yeah, they don't know, what mannerism their mind's operating on either.
And that's also why I have very large EMS on the front, because this might look intimidating to
Yeah.
people, but this is for our safety, and we're only there for the patient's safety. So.
Right.
You don't want to make them think that you're police.
Yes, and that's what we're trying not to do with large EMS. So.
Perfect. Good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
Don't forget, is that your binder, Stephen?
Oh yes. Ooh.
That is your binder.
Here's my buddy.
You gonna be around for 5 minutes after?
Oh yeah.
Or you heading out?
No, I'll be around.
Okay.
I got a report.
Alright, so last bullet item on the agenda is ambulance personnel executive session. So
I'll move that we go to executive session for personnel issues.
I'll second it.
Dean made a motion, Phil seconded the motion, go in executive session for ambulance personnel. All those in favor, go in executive session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. So we are now going to executive session, approximately 7:18. Cookie.